If you've ever gone down a late night rabbit hole trying to understand trauma, you were reading about attachment styles, nervous systems, CPTSD, fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and you just thought, I just want to know what to say so this doesn't blow up again, then this episode is for you, because I didn't just casually research trauma, you guys. I dove in hard. And at first, it seemed to help until it didn't. There was a season in my marriage where I thought, if I just understood this well enough, I can fix it. So I started researching the science behind trauma. I learned about attachment styles. I studied nervous system responses. I wanted to decode every single trigger. And honestly, the information made sense. But here's what I didn't expect. I was completely overwhelmed. I knew why things were happening, but I still didn't know what to do in the moment. I didn't need another theory. I needed someone to tell me, what do I say right now? What do I not say? How do I respond in a way that doesn't make things worse? Because understanding trauma is one thing. Interrupting a cycle in real time is another. Let that breathe. You do not need a graduate level understanding of trauma to improve your marriage. You don't need to analyze every childhood memory. You don't need to diagnose attachment styles at the dinner table. What you need are tools, simple, grounding, and this was the turning point for me. I began to understand that triggers were coping mechanisms. They were developed for a reason. They once protected him. Anger protected vulnerability. Shutdown protected overwhelm. Defensiveness protected shame. These responses were not random. They were strategies that once worked. But here's the key. What protected him in childhood wasn't working in a healthy romantic relationship. And that's where the tweaking comes in. That language is powerful and compassionate. So what helped me most wasn't more information. It was learning how to break the cycles we were stuck in. And one of the biggest shifts, I stopped focusing on the aftermath of the conflict and started focusing on the emotions underneath it. Before, you guys, we would argue about what was said, how it was said, who raised their voice first, who walked away. But that actually kept us trapped in surface level cleanup. What actually changed things was asking what emotion was driving that reaction. Was it shame, fear, feeling inadequate, feeling controlled, feeling abandoned? Because anger is usually protecting something. Shutdown is usually protecting something. And when I stopped trying to win the argument about the details and started getting curious about the emotion underneath it, that's when everything shifted. That's when tools became powerful. Learning when to pause instead of pursue, how to stay steady when he escalated, how to name the underlying emotion instead of attacking the behavior, how to regulate myself instead of reacting to the surface. We weren't just dealing with trauma. We were stuck in emotional cycles. And once we learned how to interrupt the cycle at the emotion level, not the aftermath level, we could start building new, healthier patterns. If you're overwhelmed trying to understand trauma, I want you to simplify. You don't need to master every concept. I want you to start here. Trauma responses are coping mechanisms. They once served a purpose, but they do need new skills to function in marriage, and patterns can be broken. You don't need more theory. You need the right tools. And if you're wondering where to start with tools, I want you to start with identifying your pattern in your relationship, because I didn't make progress until I could name the exact cycle we were in. And that's why I created a free quiz. It's called 9 Patterns Keeping You Apart. Which one is running your relationship? Instead of drowning in trauma theory, this will show you the specific dynamic playing out between you. And once you can name the cycle, you can begin interrupting it. I want you to go to daniellesebastian.com/find-your-pattern. You don't need more information. You need clarity and tools.